Hi, my name is Oscar and I'm a scientist. In today's video we're going to discuss the topic of immigration lawyers. Do you need an attorney for your petition, particularly EB1A or EB2 NIW? Should you get a lawyer? If you are going to get a lawyer, what factors will impact your decision? How can you choose a good lawyer? What are the alternatives if you cannot afford a lawyer or you don't want a lawyer? So we're going to cover all of these things in this video that I hope it will be useful for your petition. Let's jump in. Alright, so here I just have a brief introduction on these two green card categories that we typically cover. EB1 and EB2 NIW are green card categories that don't need sponsor. You can self-petition. You don't need a job offer, but also you don't need a lawyer. Okay, it's not mandatory, and that solves the first question I posed. You don't have to get a lawyer, although many people chooses to get a lawyer. You can use a lawyer if you want, but it's not mandatory. Okay, so if you want to know more, if you are new to the channel or you don't know a lot about these green card categories, I have two videos that cover each of the green card categories, EB2 NIW here. I'll leave a link right in one of these sites. And then I also have a more recent video about EB1A green card that I started covering more in detail lately. So we're going to continue with this presentation and we're going to get deeper in should you use an attorney or should you do a do-it-yourself green card petition. But first, I have a disclaimer I have to make here. Important. I am not a lawyer. I typically don't say this in all the videos, but I feel this is an important video to mention this. I always have it here on the bottom of my slides. I also have it on my website. I am not a lawyer, I'm a scientist. That's why I always start with that sentence to make it clear at the beginning without even having to say the disclaimer. But today I'm saying it because we're covering this particular topic. I do operate two websites that are focused on do-it-yourself petitioners. So I focus mostly on the other part, that is the part that doesn't involve lawyers. For those people, those candidates, those applicants that want to take the application in their own hands and do it without hiring a lawyer. So I thought this is an important disclaimer to make. I do offer a lot of free content, but I also offer paid content on those websites for do-it-yourself applicants, but also for people that hire lawyers because they want to get educated and understand deeper how these two green card categories work. So in those websites you can find my petition samples, my ebooks, and courses as well. All right, so having said that, let's keep going. My story with green cards, it's important to mention, and I do have a video that I have here on this side of the screen. I'll leave a link right here as well. It's important to mention because I do have experience with these two green card categories, and I have experience both with lawyers and also on the do-it-yourself side. My EB1 application was managed by my company. It was sponsored by my company, and they hired lawyers to do it. But I also applied for EB2 NIW myself without attorney. Alright, so that's why I have the perspective of both sides, but of course my personal perspective, and your situation, your view, your opinion may be different. I did not have a great experience with lawyers, alright, with this particular firm of lawyers. However, I do know people, even people in my field, that had a good experience with their lawyers, with different companies. In general, I have seen common complaints about lawyers when it relates to the time they take to respond, the time they take to prepare documents, and the amount of work you have to do anyway, even if you have lawyers, and I'll cover that in the next slides. But I want to really say here that going with or without a lawyer really depends on you and your particular situation. I will give you the tools in this video to analyze the situation so you can make the best decision, but I will not come up with a yes or no to this question because it really depends on you and many factors related to your situation. So let's start by assuming that you are going to go with a lawyer. So how is it working with a lawyer? What are the services that may be included? Okay, so I have three colors here. Green means more likely that that service is included, then yellow a little bit less likely, and red typically not included. So in green we have feedback on your profile, understanding if you qualify, and that's a question I get asked a lot in this channel. I never reply that question. Go to a lawyer and ask the question, do I qualify? What are my strengths for this category? What are my weaknesses? Many lawyers offer this review for free as part of their initial free consultation. So you can get advantage of that, and you can actually go to 2, 3, or 4 of them and ask them this question, get a 30-minute call with them, and have your profile analyzed. Preparation of cover letter is something that I consider a must. They have to provide this. For me, it's like the minimum job that they have. Responding to questions that you may have, it has to be included as part of the service. The question will be how long they will take, and we'll get into that. Help strategizing your national importance for the NIW category. They have to help you really putting together a strategy for you to prove that your endeavor is of national importance. I think that's pretty basic, and I also consider it a must. Assembling the I-140 petition package. I think some of them may not do this, but most of them should actually assemble all the documents that you will provide and put everything together and mail it to USCIS, so they will be the ones mailing the file. In yellow, I have preparation of recommendation letters because I see a mixed bag here. Many don't include it or charge extra, and many do include it and actually draft the letters for you based on the information you provide. Support for requests for evidence or RFE. Most of lawyers that I have seen, they charge extra if you get an RFE to reply to that RFE. In my opinion, it's not great that they do this, but that's something to consider when you are shopping for lawyers. Finally, a business plan. Those of you that want to apply through the businessman or businesswoman or entrepreneur route, you will need to have a business plan as part of your application. And I'm talking mostly about EB2 NIW here, but some EB1 cases may also require this. This is very rarely included by the lawyers. This is not included in their fees. Some may charge extra to outsource that business plan draft from someone that they already work with. So do take in account that that will be extra. Okay, so even if you work with a lawyer, there are a lot of things that you will need to do anyway, and that's something that I always point out, because some people think, well, I'm hiring a lawyer, then I don't have to do much. Okay, I can kind of forget, and they will do everything, and then I will one day get the notification that everything has been approved. But nothing farther from the truth. You will have to provide the lawyer with all the information about your case. For example, your CV, you have to really work on your CV, make it comprehensive so they have all the information that they need to craft your cover letter. You have to describe all your professional achievements, all your projects in a way that they understand it, in a way that is non-technical, and they understand the significance of all those projects and those professional achievements. They need to know everything about your awards, your certifications, publications and citations if you have them, and their significance, name of recommenders and their information. They want to know their CVs, how reputable they are, so they can come up with the letters of recommendation if they include them, or at least they can help you choose between them. Many times you will need to craft the recommendation letters too. Many lawyers don't include this, and they may provide templates. To me, that's the minimum they should do. I mean, I even include templates for or my own recommendation letters in my do-it-yourself petition package, so that's the minimum they should do. Some will review whatever you write and edit it, and some of them may do the whole thing, but I think those are few. Okay, so count on overall all these things, count on working quite a bit, even if you have a lawyer, to provide all the information that they need to put your case together. So in summary, like I said, a lot of writing. The attorney is not an expert in your field, or is not an expert on you, and they should write the cover letter, but but you need to provide all the information they need. A lawyer may be a good option for those of you who are not confident about writing, particularly writing in English and arguing a case. That is something that the lawyer should be able to do. That's pretty much their job in this case. So if you don't feel motivated or skilled enough to craft a good petition letter, maybe a lawyer is a good choice. Later I will give you alternatives also. Typically, lawyers will provide templates with questions or sections for you to fill out that information that they need from you. So they will have, each lawyer, they have their own way of gathering the information. Some of them, they have an online platform where you will answer some questions and upload a lot of information. Some of them, they will just do it over email. There's many ways to do it, but in summary, there has to be a way for you to convey all that information that they need. Cost of attorneys, that is a very important point that everyone is worried about because, first of all, they are expensive. I mean, that's not news that I'm bringing to this video, but the cost is really variable, which really scares me and scares a lot of people because sometimes you don't know where you're getting into, because I have seen prices from $4,000 all the way to beyond $20,000. And you may be wondering, but how do you get this information? Well, I meet a lot of you through this channel, through my websites. I have clients that I help with 1-hour calls or with review services, and I hear a lot of stories and I hear them firsthand from them. My 2 cents here is that more expensive does not equal better. I have seen very expensive lawyers that did a terrible, terrible job. And I have seen lawyers, I have one in mind particularly for scientists, and I'll say it because, I mean, I'm not a sponsor in any way, and I think it's good information. We all hear about Chen immigration lawyers. They are pretty good at crafting petitions, but they typically want scientist profiles. They charge way less than many others, and on top of that, for many candidates, they provide a refund if they don't win the case. So that's an example of a lawyer that doesn't charge a crazy amount. I mean, it's still expensive because all of them are, but they do a pretty good job. So it is important to understand how you have to look for a lawyer to get a good one if you think that you need one, okay? So let's get into that. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to ask them a lot of questions, and here I have a few examples. You need to first educate yourself in the green card category that you are going to apply to. Okay, so if it's EB2 NIW, EB2 NIW, or EB1A, EB1A, make sure that these lawyers, they are experts. So you need to first understand the visa category so you can ask the right questions. Ask them about the matter of Danasar if it's about EB2 NIW. Ask them about each and every criteria for EB1A. Make sure they really understand what they are working on. Ask how many cases they do per month or per quarter, whatever you prefer, but get a good feeling of how much experience these people have in similar cases, and not in green cards in general, but in these particular cases, okay, in these particular green card categories. Understand how quickly they will respond to questions from clients. You will have questions during this process, I promise you. This is a complex topic, even for people that work on complex things, for engineers, doctors, scientists. You will get lost at some point and you want to make sure they will respond quickly. So really ask this question. What is their typical timeline? How long will they take once you provide all the information they need to craft those recommendation letters, the cover letter, put together a petition package, whatever is included? And of course, make sure to know what is included. What is the fee structure and the services included? That's the next one. So will they charge you in a monthly basis? Will it be all in one go? Will it be half now and half when it's approved? Do they have any approval or refund scheme? Chen, as I said earlier, has this option if you qualify. If they see that your case is strong enough, they will provide this approval or refund option. Another thing is the RFE assistant included? If you get an RFE that sometimes is not, sometimes it's quite random. You will get RFEs that are quite unfair. It's not only for poor cases. will they assist you in preparing the response? You need to know that, and you need to know if it's not included, how much extra you will have to pay. Is the adjustment of status if you are in the US included, or you will have to pay extra? Typically it's not included, but you also want to know that type of thing. Recommendation letters, will they include it, or they will just give you a template and nothing more? Will they offer assistance also, even if they don't include the preparation of the recommendation letter? Will they help you understand if you crafted a good and solid recommendation letter? So you want to know all these little things before you commit to them, before you pay them, because then surprises start coming and surfacing, okay? So if I were shopping for a lawyer, I would love to hear from people that use them, testimonials. Try to find people that use this firm. So, and I call this the honeymoon effect of salespeople. So a lot of times we talk with salespeople instead of actual lawyers, or even lawyers that are very good at convincing us. And then after we pay, things change, okay? And things that were going to be great are now pretty horrible. So make sure to avoid this by talking with people that actually use the services of these lawyers. So go to Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, any social media where you can find people that tell you their experience. If they are using it right now, if they used it in the past, are these lawyers responsive? Will they respond in a timely manner in a matter of 1 or 2 days, or they will take 2 weeks to reply an email? Because I've been on that boat, and believe me, you don't want to be there. Did they do what they promised? When they replied to all those questions that these people had, they actually follow what they said, or they then, after paying, they didn't do the job that they promised. So that's really important to know, okay? And you can find people that will give you that information. I personally have heard and seen horror stories from really scammed. I should call it scammed, okay? And let me bring the camera to me. This is a scam. Right now, there are so many petitioners that there's a lot of work for these firms. And I have seen cases where the petition was put together horribly. Okay, I have seen this very week, I've seen a petition cover letter of 4 pages, when typically I say the minimum is 10 to 40 pages. It wasn't argued. This was an EB2 NIW petition. They didn't talk about the 3 prongs of the matter of Danazar. The arguments were not there. It was horrible, and the price tag of that was over 20K. Okay, so don't get scammed. Avoid being scammed, or at least minimize getting scammed by talking with people that actually use these lawyers and hearing from their experiences. People nowadays are very open to share their stories, like we do in this channel and on the websites. Okay, so should you hire a lawyer or not? Well, okay, right now I ended with a pretty negative note, but it is entirely up to you. You don't need one. I mean, it's not a requirement, but some people may benefit from a lawyer if they hate writing, for example, formal documents. Maybe it's good. If they have so many questions that they are so lost that they cannot do this. I mean, I have resources to help you on my website so you understand things better. But if you came to the conclusion that you need a lawyer, then by all means hire one, but make sure it's a good one. Make sure you're not scammed, because it is a big expensive investment. Okay, so make sure that the decision is the best it can be. So factors that can help you decide if you need to use a lawyer or you can get away without one. Your financial position. This is a very expensive investment, so if you don't have the money, then I will start looking into alternatives that I will talk about in a second. Your motivation to take on this process in your own hands. Can you put the time and the effort to do all of this by yourself? Many people can. Many people don't know they can, but I'm here to tell you that you probably can. The availability of your time. You will need to put a lot of time. Also, if you hire a lawyer, as I said, because you're going to have to help them a lot. You're going to have to follow up a lot with them. But if you do it yourself, you have to put more time. So do you have that time? And another factor is how fast you want this process to run for. If you want to get this done as quickly as possible, then you have to do it yourself, not a lawyer. And that's the opposite of what many people think. Many people think, well, if I hire someone, this will get done pretty fast. My experience is the opposite. If you have the motivation, you will do it faster than any lawyer will, because you care about you and your family more than anyone does, okay? So, alternatives to lawyers. This is the other important part of this. We talked about lawyers, now we talk about what if you decide that you don't want or cannot hire a lawyer. What are your options? Okay, option number one is do it yourself entirely. Okay, find information on USCIS website about the green card category you want to file. Always start with USCIS. I have websites, but I'm always telling you, go to USCIS first because that's official, that's always updated. Then second, dive in YouTube channels like this one and find more information. And obtain further information on websites like EB2NIW.info, including my online course that I think is the best resource for NIW that you can find anywhere else. And I promise you I'm being completely honest. And then EB1greencard.info, I will also have a course at some point, but that's work in progress right now. So start with USCIS and then go to other non-official sources of information. If you don't want to do everything by yourself, get help from consultants to review or put together your petition. Today there's consultants both inside the US and outside the US, and they are a more affordable option to lawyers because lawyers are not a requirement to file this petition. People that are not lawyers, they can practice this profession, let's call it that way, to help you craft all your documents. You will be the one that submits the petition. They will not represent you, but they can help you with writing or reviewing. So like for lawyers, there are some of them that are really excellent and some of them may be awful. And I'm not really thinking on anyone in particular. I'm just saying that this is common for many professions out there. So follow the same guidelines we saw to evaluate them before hiring, to know what questions to ask them to make sure that the money you're spending is well spent, okay? So number 3 is do it yourself, but hire a lawyer or a consultant on an hourly basis, okay? Many people offer this service. I offer 1-hour calls as well, just to resolve some doubts or questions that people have. And just get answers to questions that are always in your mind. Also, you can find out if they can take a look at your draft of whatever you wrote on an hourly basis, because it's typically cheaper on an hourly basis, to give you quick notes, to not do like a super intense review, but just to give you quick thoughts about what you wrote. Not many will do this. I do this. If you want, you can schedule a 1-hour call. Send me your documents and I will use the 1 hour to split between doing a quick look and then tell you a quick feedback. Of course, it's not a comprehensive review, but it will help you a little bit to gain confidence and learn what another person thinks about your petition. This is a good financial compromise between paying a lawyer or not paying anyone at all. So it gives you a little bit more confidence and you are not going to break the bank. Number 4 is to do it yourself, but hire someone to do a deep review of the petition. Many consultants will do this. Petition review services are more and more common. I offer that as well. I don't take a lot of clients because I want to make sure that I give the best service to those that I take on. But you can find alternatives that are not Oscar out there that are also probably very good. Make sure to probe the expert, even if it's me, before hiring, using the same guidelines we talked about for the lawyers. Ask those kind of questions to make sure they understand. I mean, if it's someone like me that you hear talking on a weekly basis, you can know that this person knows what he or she is talking about, but it's always good to make sure that you're going to spend the money well. All right, so if you are not interested in lawyers, take a look at my websites, EB1greencard.info here on the left or EB2 NIW on the right side. You can download real petitions with cover letters, documentation, reference, recommendation letters, attend my comprehensive online course, gain the best knowledge. Even if you are going to hire a lawyer, you will understand what to ask much better so you can hire the best person out there. Make use of the service I offer. And just go and take a look at the free information. I offer tons of free information. So I hope this video was useful to you, and whatever you choose, using a lawyer or not, or anything in between, is the right decision for you. That's what I want with this video, to help you really decide what is best for your case, because there's no answer that fits everyone. Each case is different, each petition is different, and each financial situation of all of us is also different. So I hope this was useful, and I will see you in the next video, and until then, I wish you the best of luck in your green card petition. Did you have experience with lawyers or consultants in this area? Do you want to give your recommendations to others or make sure they stay away from someone? You can write your comment down below and get this conversation started.